Hi, I'm James Headley with the Moving to Naples channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a subject that's near and dear to my heart. When I was looking for a second home, more than a decade ago, one of the primary criteria for me was being somewhere where golf was going to be accessible and enjoyable. And Naples clearly was a great spot for that, as I'll discuss later. But one of the biggest questions that I faced was the decision whether to purchase in a bundled golf community or not. And so I'm going to address that topic today, looking at the reasons that you may or may not opt to purchase in a bundled golf community versus some of the types of communities you might be thinking about as a golfer looking for some real estate in the area. Before diving into that discussion of the merits of bundled versus non-bundled, let me remind you that if you like what you see, please subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends and colleagues. Of course, if you have any questions about what you see and hear in the video, please feel free to reach out to me directly anytime. And finally, if there are topics or questions about Southwest Florida you'd like me to address in future episodes, please let me know and I'll do my best to get to them. So with that bit of housekeeping out of the way, let me urge you to stick around until the end of the video for a sneak peek at some of the best deals in golf real estate in the area. So Naples. When you think of Naples, what do you think of? Great beaches, upscale restaurants, boating and fishing, amazing weather. Naples has an abundance of attractive reasons to visit or live here. But that said, golf is frequently at or near the top of the list for many transplants and retirees. With well over 70 courses in the area, Naples has a strong argument for the title of golf capital of the world, as well as a very reasonable claim to more golf per capita than any other locale. That said, the public golf options here in the area are limited to roughly 20% or fewer of those courses. So if you're wanting to lock in a tee time on one of these courses more than a few days in advance during the late fall to early spring high season, you should be prepared to fork over $100 and up per round if you can even get on. And even those willing and able to make last-minute golfing decisions utilizing sites such as golfnow.com should still expect to pay half that price or higher. Significantly higher for prestige courses such as Tiburon or TPC Treviso Bay. And as you know, if you've spent any time on those sites, you also aren't going to get the best pick of tee times either. Against that backdrop, joining a private golf course or a private club, a country club, becomes an attractive option both for convenience and often for affordability. While annual dues can vary widely, members can typically expect to pay around $25 as a cart fee each time they play at their home club. There are a handful of walking clubs, walking anytime clubs or limited walking clubs. So if you're interested in that, definitely let's have a conversation about those because they are fewer and far between, but there are some excellent ones. So in any event, with that $25 worst case for cart fees, roughly, as the number of rounds played each year creeps higher, you can imagine that the cost per round starts to look pretty attractive when compared to those daily fee options I mentioned before. For couples where both spouses play golf regularly and spend more than a couple of months in Naples during the peak season, it's almost invariably a no-brainer to join a private club in those circumstances. So for those who run the numbers, weigh the convenience factor, and decide that having a home club is the right way to go, the next decision is where to join. And that brings us back to the primary topic of this episode, bundled golf. So just what exactly am I referring to when I say bundled golf? Well, let's look at three general categories of Naples real estate when it comes to golf. First, there's the non-golf community. Whether it's the rare standalone home outside of a development or more typically a house or condo within a planned use development that doesn't have a golf course within that community, this option affords you considerable flexibility, if not always convenience. Setting aside those bundled golf communities, which I'll turn to next, that are exclusive to their residents, owners of these unaffiliated non-golf community homes can shop the gamut of standalone courses, non-exclusive bundled courses, and resort courses that Naples has to offer. A clear advantage of going this route is the ability to select your ideal home and your ideal course independently of each other, and without attendant compromises like, I love this condo, but I don't know if I want to play this golf course every day. And geography is one potential drawback of pursuing this option, as a commute from North Naples to Marco Island as a member of the Island Country Club, for example, would probably grow tedious very quickly, even without the often heavy seasonal traffic. So turning to the next category, opting to buy a home in a bundled golf community certainly removes these geographic concerns. In many cases, residents can walk to the clubhouse to play their rounds or drive there in their own golf carts. In a bundled community, the cost of membership in the club is often rolled into the purchase price of the home, and then subsequently the annual homeowners association fees cover your club membership. So you and all your neighbors are automatically members of the club, helping to ensure its viability and longevity as a focal point of the development. With modest cart fees as the only variable cost each year, and in many cases, an annual trail fee for the use of one's own golf cart can replace those cart fees economically if you're playing 50 plus rounds a year, for example. Purchasing in a bundled golf community can be an attractive option, especially in those communities where the total HOA and club fees are comparable to non-bundled communities' fees. So for those purchasing in a bundled community, here are some key considerations that I think you should take into account before taking the plunge. First, and most importantly, do you like, or maybe more accurately, love the golf course? This is going to be your everyday course, and it's the rare bundled club in Naples that boasts more than 18 holes. If possible, as a result, play the course more than once in order to get a good feel for whether you're going to enjoy it long term. You'd be pretty disappointed, assuming you don't love slow greens, to find that you happen to play the course on one of the rare days the greens were double cut and rolled. Also, be honest with yourself about your game. Do you typically play a left to right or right to left ball flight, but the course you're thinking of buying into has a bunch of dog legs that favor the opposite flight? How much fun is that going to be every day? Or have you lost a bit of length with your driver, or maybe never had a lot of length with your driver, and the course in question has a bunch of forced carries off the tee? Buying new balls can get pretty expensive when you're hitting into wetlands on a regular basis. And number two, how many members does a club have, and what is the maximum number that it will allow? It's not going to do you a lot of good to have a course you love in your backyard, but only be able to get on it once per week at either 6 a.m. or 3 p.m. Now, related to this point, ask about the system for securing tee times. Is it a Chelsea lottery-based system? Is it 6 to 7 days in advance on a first-come, first-served basis? When do tee times open up, if the latter? In other words, do you need to get online at midnight to get a tee time for the following week, as you often hear horror stories about in the area? And finally, are there regular games that suit your handicap, betting preferences, and the like? And how hard is it to get into those games, and what's it going to take for that to happen for you? So moving on from the bundled communities to our last category of non-bundled golf communities, these are developments that have one or more golf courses on site, but do not require that residents belong to the club or course. Here, the calculus for a potential buyer is similar to the first category of non-golf communities, in that you can select your home and course independently of each other. That said, it can certainly be a lifestyle bonus if you like the golf course or golf courses in one of these communities, and also find your ideal home there as well. So, taking a step back, across these general categories, there's such a wide range of home options and financial details to consider that it really helps to have someone on the ground locally who's attuned to the Naples golfing world, and I would love to be that resource for you. So please do reach out, contact me directly, and we can determine some of the best fits for you in any or all of these categories based upon your specific situation. Know that you won't be able to spend more than a month or so in the area for the next few years at least. Maybe a bundled community isn't right for you, unless you also think you wouldn't mind leasing your home a bit while you aren't in Naples. That might just open up a number of possibilities you wouldn't otherwise have considered, and it may close off some others based upon the rental and club membership transfer policies at certain communities. So that's just one example, and I've aided many golfers just like you to find the right home and course for your needs. So I look forward to helping you as well. Thanks so much for hanging in to this point. As promised, I want to highlight a handful of the great options in each of these categories of golf real estate for you to possibly consider. By no means an exhaustive list, just a bit of highlighting, and would love to talk to you about your personal needs and your personal wish list and find the ideal fit for you. With homes still selling in weeks, if not days right now, it doesn't make any sense for me to reference specific properties that will likely be under contract before you even see this episode, but it can be very useful to have a sense of communities that might be a good starting point for finding your golf home nirvana. So beginning with the non-golf community, all of Marco Island really falls under this umbrella and could be a great option. Whether it be an inland bungalow, a high-rise condo on the beach, or a waterfront home with a dock for your boat in your backyard, Marco offers a great range of housing and lifestyle options that aren't tied to any specific golf club. The only real downside for golfers buying on Marco is that the Island Club is your only real option without crossing a bridge and leaving the island. That said, the Rookery and Hammock Bay, which are both affiliated with Marriott, offer both memberships and daily play on the way to Naples. And Fiddler's Creek, Eagle Creek, and Lely Resort all offer non-resident memberships, and are within 20 to 30 minutes of just about any Marco home most of the year. Homes on Marco range from a few $100,000 to as many millions as you'd like to spend. Moving on to bundled golf communities, which are definitely more the rule than the exception here, there are tons of options for just about any price range within reason. My home club here of Eagle Creek requires a $65,000 initiation fee to join as a golf member, but this former home club of Ken Venturi is wrapping up a major renovation that promises to improve upon an already remarkable golf course. So while that initiation fee may seem a bit high to some, condos and villas in this community can be had for under $300,000 and in some cases under $200,000 right on the golf course. Just a handful of miles down the road toward I-75, you'll pay just $3,500 in contrast to join Cedar Hammock, where the most recent 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo sales have come in just a bit over $200,000. So last but not least, let's turn to the non-bundled golf communities. Lely Resort may be the best example of these, with its nearly 5,000 properties and not a one of them requiring membership to the private Classics Country Club, nor its semi-public sister courses, the Mustang and the Flamingo. While the joining fee at Lely recently jumped to $45,000, the playing privileges at 3 separate championship courses and the range of home prices from the high 200,000s to $3+ million makes it a really appealing option for many Naples transplants. I hope this episode helped you to both understand the lay of the land in Naples golf real estate, as well as begin to narrow down in your mind the types of communities that might be of most interest to you. I'd love the opportunity to help you continue to narrow that search to find the ideal golf home for you, whether it's actually in a traditional golf community or not. With so many great courses here in Naples, it's like one big golf community in a sense. So if you have any questions or want to dive into more specifics about what it might be like for you to live here, please reach out anytime. And if you want to learn more about other aspects of moving to and/or living in Naples, again, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends who might also be interested. Thanks so much, and hit 'em straight until the next episode.